The image of Adolf Hitler, the Führer, leader of the Nazi Party, casted a long shadow over the second half of the 20th century. A vision of incomprehensible evil that endures today. But behind this figure was an ordinary man, a master manipulator whose talent for public speaking and deep understanding of how to effectively use propaganda propelled him to the ultimate pinnacle. But how did Adolf Hitler, a tyrant who orchestrated one of the largest genocides in the human history, rise to power in a democratic country? The story begins at the end of World War I with the successful Allied advance in 1918. Germany realized that the war was unwinnable and signed an armistice ending the fighting. As its imperial government collapsed, civil unrest and worker strikes spread across the nation. Fearing the communist revolution, major parties joined to suppress the uprisings. Hitler rose to power. He was born in 1889 in Austria and spent his youth in poverty. In the First World War, he enrolled for the army, acted as a messenger in the front, became a corporal, and earned medals for bravery. Hitler joined a small group called the German Workers' Party in 1919 and renamed it as the Nazi Party. In 1929, the Great Depression happened. It led to American banks withdrawing their loans from Germany, and the already struggling Germany economy collapsed overnight. Hitler took advantage of the people's anger, offering them convenient scapegoats and a promise to restore Germany's former greatness.
Dass ich anständig meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes. Gib du jetzt deine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten bin.
Hitler achieved the highest position in the Cabinet of Ministers on 30 January 1933. Hitler then set out to dismantle the structures of democratic rule. The Fire Decree of 28 February 1933 suspended civic rights. The communists were hurriedly packed off to newly established concentration camps. All political parties were banned. Special surveillance and security forces were created to control the people and rule with impunity, and there was complete democratic rule. He invaded half of Europe. The Nazi worldwide view was different. According to the Nazi ideology, there was no equality between people, but only racial hierarchy. The Nazis quickly began to implement their dream of creating an exclusive racial community of pure Germans by physically eliminating all those who were considered undesirable. They wanted a society of pure and healthy Nordic Aryans, Jews, Gypsies, Blacks, Russian, Poles, even certain Germans and abnormals were considered undesirable. Hitler felt that a strong Nazi society could be established by teaching Nazi ideology to children. All schools were given German teachers. Children were divided into two groups, desirable and undesirable. Textbooks were rewritten. Functions of sports in schools was to nurture the spirit of violence and aggression. 10-year-olds had to enter Jungvolk. At 14, all boys joined Hitler Youth. They joined the labor service at 18. Women were told to be good mothers and rear pure-blooded Aryan children. The Nazi regime used language and media with care and often to great effect. They used films, pictures, radio, posters to spread hatred for Jews.
What we have is a very modern thing, the politics of grievance. A lot of what the Nazism he did comes across as a kind of protracted bratish whine. They were actually planting this idea of grievance and betrayal in the German people, and they did it very effectively. And there were good grounds for grievance. This was not irrational. There was substance to them.
Es soll aber aus diesen Opfern heraus bei uns die Entschlossenheit kommen, der einst mit den Verantwortlichen an diesen Opfern ein unerbittliches Gericht zu halten.
Hitler believed in pseudoscientific theories of a race, which said that conversion was no solution to the Jewish problem. It had to be solved through the total elimination. Mass killings were termed special treatment, final solution for the Jews, euthanasia for the disabled, selection and disinfection. From 1933 to 1938, the Nazis terrorized, pauperized and segregated the Jews, compelling them to leave the country. The next phase, 1939 to 1945, aimed at concentrating them in certain areas and then killing them in gas chambers in Poland. Steps to death. Stage 1. Exclusion. You have no right to live among us as citizens. It showed the differentiate between desirables and undesirables. Stage 2. Ghettoization. You have no right to live among us. Jews had to surrender all their wealth before they entered a ghetto. The ghettos were brimming with hunger, starvation, and disease. Stage 3. Annihilation. You have no right to live. Jews from Jewish houses, concentration camps, and ghettos from different parts of Europe were brought to death factories by goods trains. Mass killings took place within minutes. This was how Hitler committed one of the largest crimes against humanity. From this, we could learn a lesson that the propaganda and stereotypes of the Nazism ideology shouldn't be followed. There should be oneness and unity among diversities for all the people to stay with peace and harmony. We should believe in the feeling of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. One world, one family. With this, shining off. Thank you.